All right. Hello, this is Matt Perlstein from EQforpeace.org. We are at the Positive Mental Health Symposium. I like that word, symposium. And we are trying to work with how we can take our mental health issues, our problems, and learn from them and actually end up better because we had problems, which is kind of wild. But it's like positive psychology. We used to go to therapy just to get rid of our problems and get back to normal and to coping. But I'm saying, and positive psychology says, and positive mental health says, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. We don't have to just go from negative to zero. We can go to positive. And we can be happier. We can be more resilient. We can be more powerful. We can enjoy ourselves more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, through positive mental health. So that's what we're talking about. Our next speaker or guest is Divya Shah, who's a good friend now after we've been working closely together for quite a while. She runs a radio show called Radio Diva twice a week in India and is quite popular and has some amazing guests. And I've been impressed with just looking at the guest list. You're like, wow. So Divya, hi, welcome.
Thank you so much, Matt. Such a blessing to be here with you and with all of you. And thank you, such a privilege. Thank you for inviting me, Matt.
You bet. You bet. I definitely wanted you involved because a lot of the stuff we have talked about together is about our own personal growth, and it's about how to deal with our stuff. And very, 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 very importantly, as you know, one of my big things is to go into our past and deal with our self, how we got to be how we are today. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, I'm this and I'm this and I'm this and I'm this. I'm this. Like, yeah, but you weren't like that. You weren't born like that. Let's go back and see what happened, or let's go back and look into our past and see how we got to be how we are today and adjust it. And that has to do with what, like Dr. Oliver was talking about, was having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset is a big deal, right?
Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, Lee. You want to say
Oh,
something?
I just read something about that particular thing that you just said, Matt, and it was, the man said, everybody has a role. So when you're little kids, you look to the mother, all right? And mother acts a certain way. And you begin to associate the name or the idea, concept, mother, with behaviors. And that leaves an imprint on the person, and the child thinks all mothers are that way. And it forms like an expectation and a reaction, because that's how you're trained up. Mother loves to cook, or mother yells at me when I don't pick up my room. Whatever it could be, you begin that pattern of association, and that's how you collect those ideas. And they can be positive or they can be negative.
Right on. Divya?
Absolutely. I think, our childhood has a major role. It is said that the conversations that our parents had with us, the way they spoke to us, become our inner voice. So it's important how we talk to our children. And definitely, my topic is transformative power of inner child work. So when we have our hurts, we have our scars, we have our wounds, we have our happy memories, we have our beautiful moments. We have it's a mix of so many things, but there are things which have had deep impact on us and our personalities. And it's so important. I always say that you take one step back to be able to take 5 steps forward.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
That's so important that we take that one step, and it's not a backward, as Matt always says. When I say this line, he says it's not a step. It's a step forward because it's going to lead us forward. So it's so important to, introspect that where are our emotions coming from? Where are our reactions and responses coming from? What is the conditioning that has happened? What is the impacts that we have as a child which is impacting our future? Somebody saw their parents fighting a lot and now has trust issues and is not able to form a good relationship with their spouse, with their partners, with their friends, because they have trust issues, maybe because the parents never trusted each other. If the mother said, I can never trust you with my child, or if the father said, I can never trust you, those things have had deep impact on us. So it's so important to do that, going back, a rewind thing, that where was my hurt? What is it that is impacting me so much that I'm not able to move forward in a relationship, in life, in anything that I'm doing? What is it that is stopping me? If you allow me, Matt, can I share one image? It's a very strong,
Yeah.
okay, it's a very strong image, but I'm sure it will leave a deep impact with all of you. So can you see it, Matt? Is it visible?
Yes. Yep, there he is. Yep, cutting the ties.
So,
Go ahead.
so we all are carrying something which we have the ability to be done with, to get rid of. But are we sitting and crying over it? Ki, okay, I am, like that only. I can't change. That's me. Accept me. That's how I am. Are we putting it behind that arrogance and, that lethargy that we don't want to, or that escapist, or maybe that getting comfort out of discomfort? Okay, we have got comfortable with the discomfort that we are having, maybe health related. We never took care of ourselves because we never valued ourselves, because maybe our parents didn't value us in a way. And now, it has resulted in, manifested into sickness, in disease, and we are just not trying to figure out where is it coming from. We are not finding the root cause of it, and we are just going on becoming comfortable with the discomfort in our lives. So inner child work has amazing transformation effects. As I always tell Matt, I'm a big example of how I have worked on all my issues, and I'm still a work in progress. This is what I always say. Yes, Matt, you have a question?
No, I was doing thumbs up. Now I'm a work in progress too. Yep. Continue.
Yeah. There are so many issues, people have, some people, there is a road rage or any, a fight on the road, and some people react overtly. The reaction is not that temporary thing that happened. It's a bottled up emotions that a person is uncomfortable, and it just got, we showed our emotions at the wrong place, basically. So we don't, when we don't clear our past garbage or baggage, then we end up showing our emotions at a wrong place. That's what happens. Yes, Lee, you say something.
Yep.
You have to unmute, Lee. You're on mute.
Is there a technique that you use to recognize that you're behaving with that filter? How do you come to the point where you see it?
We do have a checklist, I think I showed this. I'll just show it again. I'll just share, wait a second. So, we do have a checklist. So basically, okay, are you able to see my PowerPoint?
I saw a room with a bunch of clothes on it, I think.
Looks like our room.
So, we showing, so these are the signs you have to watch out for. We unnecessarily getting angry over, later we get angry, and in some time they realize that, was it a worthy point to get angry on? Was it important can it be avoided? Was it a situation which could have been avoided? When we have anxiety all the time, worried for unnecessary reasons, when we have self-doubt all the time, when we doubt every move of ours, that means there is, we are not comfortable with ourselves, and there is something about us we are not comfortable with, and we need to deal with it. There is dissatisfaction. No matter what we get, we are not grateful, we are not in gratitude, we are dissatisfied with everything. We have this internal conflict going on all the time, some fight, some mental issues regarding everything, doubting every relationship, doubting everything about our lives. And of course, the most important sign to watch out for is we are not at peace at all.
Yep.
Good list.
Yep. The agitation is what you're talking about. If you feel agitated, something's wrong.
Yes.
But what about the people that just don't, they're agitated, but they blame other people, or they say it's your fault I'm agitated. You did something that annoyed me. What do you say to that?
We don't say anything to anybody, Lee. The only thing is that we can't really make anybody understand. Everybody will have to work on themselves. We really can't work on anybody else. So, if it's our close friend, we can definitely advise them. Maybe, there are bottled up emotions that you need to work on. But ultimately, everybody will have to work on themselves. You have to take a decision that, yes, me and Matt were discussing last time, the first thing that you have to do is you have to take a decision that, yes, there is something which is not at place with my emotions and I need to work on it. So that decision, because it's not a very comfortable journey, Lee, if we talk about, digging your past. Okay, everybody likes to portray, my parents had the perfect relationship. I never had. My parents were like the Romeo and Juliet. They were always so much in love. We don't really talk about the uncomfortable things of our life, because we are in a habit of brushing it under the carpet. Especially if you talk to men, they don't, we women are okay being vulnerable, but men like to be the macho people who are, they don't cry, they don't show emotions, they are expected to be always in control of their emotions. But it's okay if, if they can also come out of that perfectionist attitude and they can talk about it. So, but everybody will have to take this inward journey on their own, Lee. It's nobody can take it for anybody. I will tell, okay, Matt, I will go to your past and I will help you. Yes, Matt.
I would suggest also, from what Lee was saying, is that it sounds like what you said is they hurt my feelings, or they did this to me, or they made me feel this way. And the reality is that's not accurate. They didn't make you feel anyway. We can't make anybody feel anything emotionally without our permission. We can physically, but not emotionally. And so taking responsibility for that and taking ownership for our thoughts and our feelings and our point of view and our moods and our filters and all that stuff says, okay, they did what they did. Now, what am I going to do with it? It's my thoughts, my feelings. What do I do with these things? They're mine. I made them. So what am I going to do with them? So that, I find that helps to have people take ownership and have control of themselves.
Matt is absolutely right, because we cannot really nobody can actually affect us if we don't let them, if we don't give them the hope. But that's what I was telling. There are times when a simple fight, or we react overly on issues because we are internally hurt. We are having that scar which is unresolved issues, which is bothering us. And then on top of it, somebody scratches that wound of ours and we overly react, because the wound is already there. It's already, it has not been, cleared. It is not been solved. So, inner child work is like that. So inner child work says ki our energy gets trapped in that one incident
Yes,
or
yes, yes.
one thing that somebody
Yeah.
told us in our childhood. Some person said ki, okay, you will be good for nothing all your life, and we took it to our heart ki, okay, this is going to be our reality, because this one person, maybe our parent, our teacher whom we looked up to, had this to say about us. Maybe they are right. We tend to believe it, and inside our heart our energy is trapped, and we are not able to set ourselves free from that, and it's affecting our lives in every possible way. It's that one statement passed by somebody who meant something to us, or even if the person did not mean to us, but we took it very seriously because at that point we were vulnerable,
Mhm.
and we don't know where our energy is trapped.
Yes. And the fact is that you're afraid to try new things or to take a risk if you're trapped, if your energy is tied up, or it causes you illnesses. I mean, I know people who are sick, physically sick, because they have energy that's trapped.
Yeah.
Very
More and more studies are showing the connection between emotions and physical, and showing that if you don't deal with your emotions, it's not going to go well in your body, because our body does not want to carry this negative garbage around, all this baggage. Our body does not want to carry it around. We're the ones doing that. We're the ones, like Divya was saying, especially guys, well, we are the ones who don't deal with our stuff, but our body, it's still in there. It's still in there, and it tears us down after a while, especially after a long while. It's
Yeah.
not going well in that department.
I don't think that people get cancer because they have trapped energy. I don't think it's that simple. But I think their immune system and their or to eat, to take care of themselves is tied up in that. And it's this lack of flow, I guess I would call it.
Say it again. What is it?
It's
lack of
chi.
flow.
Lack of flow. It's when you're blocked. The energy tends to be blocked instead of
It's all relatedly. It's not one thing that can affect, but over the time the baggage becomes bigger.
Mhm.
The issues, if we don't tend to it, like a scar, if all the time it is scratched but not resolved, not healed, it will become bigger over the time. The infection will become bigger, so that way
Yeah, that's a
can't
good way of putting it.
but what Matt was saying is right. It's like everything is psychosomatic. I feel, because in my own life I have experienced it. My mother was not keeping well, okay, and I was feeling very helpless. I was here in the capital of the country, and my mother was of course in my hometown, and she was not feeling well, and I really wanted to do something. At that point my child was very small and I was helpless, but I kept thinking about it for a year or two, and I developed thyroid.
You did not what?
I developed thyroid.
Oh, okay.
So I really believe in the strong body and mind connection. So when we are are feeling guilty, those emotions, they ultimately manifest in disease.
Yes.
Worried, when we are guilty, when we are unhappy, it shows in our body. So if you have that book by Louis Hay, You Can
Yes.
Heal Your Body.
Yes.
She has a chart towards the back where she says, if you all of a sudden you have too much of too much of responsibilities of people coming on you, like, or you had responsibilities, basically, your shoulder will start paining. It will show on your shoulder. So, you have anything which you are not able to digest, you are unhappy with it, you have a digestion issue. So everything in our body is related to our mental health. So we can't, keep okay, we are body physically, we are running and we are doing everything, but we are not clearing our resolving our issues. It will show, it will manifest. So that's why it is said, now you train your mind and your body behaves accordingly. So you have to, first work on the mental. I feel it's first mental and then physical manifestation. So if you really want to be healthy, first thing that you need to work is on the mental. Yeah, this is one picture. Remember, Lee, Matt, we discussed at length about it. Generation by generation, things goes forward, and somewhere one person has to be conscious and stop it. So
And it's
that yeah, that's
it's uncomfortable and it doesn't seem right. And we have these pictures in our head. And like you were saying about what your mom said, we have these voices in our head of what was said to us about us. And we keep living on those. And somewhere in there, we've got to stop the cycle. So we got to become aware of it. And it's really uncomfortable, but we need to do it different, change it. I don't want to treat my kids the way that I was treated. And like you, Divya, I know your daughter's very lucky to have you because you stopped doing what your mom did and your dad did to you, and you did not do that to her. And yay, fantastic, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I really also have stopped blaming them, Matt, because I also they come from a generation which was surviving, which was, my mother did not get proper education, but she ensured that I have education. So, they did what best they could. I also could forgive her because I know that it's not intentional. Anything wasn't intentional. She wanted me to be happy and she did everything to make me happy. So, there is an image that I want to share. I think I have shared with you, Matt, before. It's a very powerful image, Lee. If you want to have a look, you can. So
I love a look. Yeah.
Meera, you can also, I don't know if you're there, Meera. So this is a very powerful image. It really talks about how holding on things can do us more damage than letting go. So how important is letting go? How important is it is?
So you're saying blaming is another way of hanging on. It's
yes. We have to.
And it hurts. It hurts you. Blaming hurts you.
Yes, absolutely, Lee. Blaming hurts us. Not forgiving others hurts us. We can't blame and put responsibility of our life or anything on anybody else. As Matt said, it's how we react to it, how we respond to it is more important than what the other person does. Other person did and went ahead. We need to understand how we are taking it.
Yeah. And for me, the big part of being able to forgive had to do with, like you said, not blaming. We're not saying you did this to me, you're an awful person, I hate you kind of thing. I'm saying I don't like that behavior. I do not like that way that I was treated, and I'm not going to do that behavior. So I can love the person and still love them and forgive them, and you can hate the behavior. If we can change, if we can differentiate between the person and the behavior, that really helps a lot to me. And forgiveness is about removing the pain between me and you. So I was treated this way and it made me feel angry, made me feel sad, made me feel afraid, whatever it was. And I got to deal with those emotions. I got to, by feeling them, writing about them, moving them, describing them to myself, and allowing those to move out of my body and let go of those. And then I can see the person more clearly again. And I remove the pain between me and them. And that's called forgiveness. And forgiveness is for us, not
Us,
them.
yeah, it's
They
not them.
usually don't know
Right.
and probably don't care. So it's for us, very definitely, but it's something we got to get good at. So
It's-
we're almost done with time, Divya. Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah.
Last time.
I was just gonna say, it's not, forgiveness requires, I think, a certain amount of insight into
Yeah.
the other person's behavior. And you said spin it to win it, right?
Yeah. It is.
That's
There
one
it
of your, that's one of your favorite
is.
sayings.
is.
And you look at it in a way that you're not,
Differently.
yeah, you're not, yes, you have to look at it differently. And not
I
make
like
the
you move your
person,
head.
not make the
like-
person a villain.
I've been always looking at it like that. I'm gonna adjust it anyway. Yeah, spin it to win it is one of my favorites. And I think what Divya said talking about is feel it to heal it too. Feel it to heal it. So sometimes we have to just allow ourselves to feel these really negative feelings and then let them out of our body.
And we just don't do it for ourselves, Lee. When we heal ourselves, we heal the generations after us. We
Right.
heal.
Yes, you're right. Yes, that's so correct. Because it's your child and the grandchild and their grandchild and all the future generations. You chose to stop the cycle. You
Yes.
chose to, yes, it makes so much sense. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, I am big fan of yours, Divya. I love this subject of working with with our past and our inner child. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's just your past, don't worry about it, let it go and go to the future. Well, we're saying go dig into your past, take some time, consciously take some time to look at where you came from, how you became who you are, and what leftover feelings you have in your body. Your poor little body does not want to carry this stuff around anymore. Your body does not. It's us that keeps it there. And so if we can move some of that stuff out of the way, we can do so much better, right?
Well, you'd have so much more energy.
And that too.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So Divya, if you want to put in the chat, maybe how to get a hold of you if interested, or Radio Divya, if you want to put it in there or something.
Yeah, anybody
finish
who
up.
wishes to be part of it can become a part of it. Maybe I'll show
right.
I'll show the slide, which is
There you go.
Okay. So
we're going
just a
past that one. Another different slide.
no, I have to show that slide.
I'm just playing.
Which
That was one we're trying to get in our past by dealing with our past.
Yeah. So here is the slide which
go.
talks about how you can get in touch with me. And I would love to, anybody who wishes to talk about it, wishes
There
to
you go.
work with this, I'm all game, because, I really feel the more free we are, it's such a liberating feeling, Lee, man,
Mhm.
to get
Yes.
out of every time I try and solve one mystery of my past. So
Yeah.
it's very helpful.
Wonderful.
And thank you so much.
Thank you much. Thank you, Divya. You're always a pleasure to talk to you and listen to you. You got great wisdom on the subject, so appreciate it. We will. I will talk to you again in a couple of days, and we'll keep going doing this important work. So thank you again.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you.